Perfect. Well, good morning. My name is Stuart Blumenthal. I'm with ETHOSystems, and this morning we are going to go over the 2024 R2 release that comes out tomorrow. So there's some really cool features that are being added, and we're going to be going over those today. So just for webinar details here, this presentation is about 20 minutes long. That's what I timed it at. All the phone lines are muted. If you have any questions along the way, let me know. And if you want a copy of this webinar or this PowerPoint, let me know. Just put your email address in the questions feature, which you'll see right here. Just put your email address in there. We'll send it to you. But also, since all the phone lines are muted, please use the questions feature as well. So we'll use it for two things today. So as I said, the new features are coming out tomorrow, the 10th. Those are usually in the evening or right around 8, 9, or 10 Pacific time. So don't focus on accounting on Friday night. Let the system update Saturday morning. It should be ready for you at that point. And then at the end, we'll go over some Q&A. As I always put in any of these, if you need help with any of the configuration changes, please contact your support person. Please contact us here at support or your primary consultant, depending upon which part, where you are at with the implementation or go live, things like that. But there are some things that you might want to go in and make some configuration changes on this. So just FYI from that perspective. So this one's an interesting one. I'm actually glad they did it. So in the financial report writer now, there's a new box for projects. So in the past, you could run department and location as individual reports. So when you get your financial reports, instead of having departments or locations being spread across the top, you could say run this as an individual report, and you would be able to get that information. Now they've added that same feature to projects. So run as an individual report. So if you have 30 projects you're working on, instead of trying to run that financial 30 different times, you can create a group of projects. Your limit is 500 there. So, but you can create a group of projects and run each one of those as an individual financial report, and then it will create that as in one PDF, or you can export that out to Excel. So it makes it a little bit nicer instead of having them all across the top of the page or something along that line. So it at least gives you that ability to split out that information easily. The other thing that they've added before we get into the construction side that I felt was good is that for a couple months ago, we did a webinar on the bank matching, bank feeds features and all that. And they've added, in one of the previous releases, they've added a match sequence. So now you can actually go in, and if you're doing the reconciliations, there's something called a reconciliation matches report that you can run. It's a pre-built report that you can see that information based upon, again, the bank feeds and the matches. In order for this report to show up, this is kind of a trick here. You have to install it. You have to install it or have us install it. So again, this is why I put that slide about having us, reaching out to support. There's a customization package out there called reconciliation matches, and it's again a report there. For those who don't know it, there's actually every one of our clients has platform services. So there's two options. There's customization services or platform services. All of our clients at Ethos have platform services. It's just the standard we set, and there's no additional cost for it. But if you go under platform, if you go under customization packages and go to something called the report library, the library, there's all these different reports out there that are available, and you might go through the list and say, oh man, I want that one, or I want that one. But so reconciliation matches is one that you would have to click on the install for. So again, if you need help with that, please let us know. Happy to help you out on that aspect. But trying to kill two birds with one stone with this one slide here. One of the other things that is good that they've added is the ability to distribute employee expenses on a transaction. So you can say add distributed expenses, and you can take a line and you can distribute the employee expenses across multiple accounts, basically at that point. In order for this button to show up, this add distributed expenses, you need to make sure that you enable that in the time and expense setup configuration. So you go into the time and expense module, you go to configuration, and then about a quarter to a third of the way down, there's a box that says transactions enable allocations to distribute expense entry. Turn that on, and then that feature of that option will now become available for you moving forward. So again, that's a setup option I wanted to make sure that you're familiar with. So this is the cool part. So Sage in this release is doing something called an early adopter program, which we'll talk about in a moment, but it's allowing you to do do WIP, do your WIP schedules and a WIP report, but also do your over and under billings, over billings and under billing GL accounts, and track that information within the system. So this is a very cool feature that they're adding. I'm going to show you some of the screenshots over the next couple slides. So again, this is useful for project managers, controllers, CFOs, or anyone monitoring the profitability of ongoing projects. By being part of the early adopter, that means that this will not be on your system automatically come this weekend or next week. You have to opt into it. There is no additional cost for you because it's part of the construction module, but because this is not out for something called general release yet, you have to ask to have that be part of that program. What does that mean? It means that they might make changes to this. They might add features. They might be based upon feedback. There might be some issues, like for example, there might be some issues that need to be addressed as well, or bug fixes. It's not bad, but it basically means that, hey, before we release it to everyone, they want to make sure that certain people are using it. It's already gone through beta. This is just the next step before it's generally released. If you want to be part of it, please let me know. Send me an email, and what I need to do is submit that to Sage, and then they'll require your instance, which I know that information, as well as the primary contact who's going to be responsible if they ask questions or they want to contact you. So just FYI, this is kind of on the cutting edge stuff. So basically what's going to end up happening is that you'll be able to go in and be able to go into there'll be a new option called WIP report, and it will allow you to bring in this information. So as you see down below, you can put in the PM forecast, the CFO forecast, some of that information. And so you're able to have that information brought in. What's nice is that this is based upon your reporting period. So I know that, a couple of our clients are like, why do I have to do these reporting periods every year and stuff like that? This is what it leverages the way your reports are run, but also, again, the WIP report is going to end up looking at that information as well. So you'll have this information. You'll be able to update these numbers on a project by project basis. And they can either be manually entered, imported, or done via the APIs. The one key aspect of this is that any of these projects to show up in here have to have a contract associated to it. So if you're just doing projects and then you're doing it through order entry, they will not show up in this screen. There has to be a project contract at that point. And in addition to that, there's a box within the projects setup that says exclude from WIP. If that box is checked, obviously it will not show up in here as well. So there are a few caveats to making sure that it shows up in this list here at that point. Just to show you, so there's different columns that can be inserted. So for example, if you're basing this upon PMs versus CFOs or things like that, they're going to be, so you can click on the details, and then we can customize, or you can customize the grid entry just like you can with any screen. If you don't know how to customize the grid entry, contact support or contact your consultant, and they can show you how to modify the way that the grids look on the screen, on any screen, but on this screen you can modify them as you want at that point. What it's going to do is that it's then going to show you what the over and under billing transactions will be. So in this case here, these are the entries that it will make. It's a preview, and then it will actually show you the entries it makes as well as the reversing entry for the next month thereafter. So it does do the postings, and then it does do the automatic reversals at that point. So again, if you're interested, send me an email, let me know. I'll get the process started for you. It won't happen until the update's done, and next week when you are, and then next week once they provision it. So it might not be showing up for like a week or two if you want to be part of this program, but we're excited about it. And then last but not least, there's a couple reports out there that are part of this, a WIP schedule by month, like for example, so you can see this by month, and you can see that I can do it like, here's my June and here's my May, for example, and then we also have a WIP schedule by job. So for example, here's again another looking at the project, and looking at the different reporting periods you have this associated with. So I know a couple of you are going to be emailing me as soon as this meeting is over, or you've already emailed me during the meeting, which I'm not looking at. The next thing, this is because of a couple of people I know specifically on this call who have been really good about submitting feedback. When you release retainage invoices in AR now, it will now include the project contract billing information. So you'll be able to see that there. So it's really important that this got moved over into the retainage area. So very excited that they added this information here. And again, this information will not appear for non-contract lines. So if you're not doing contracts, and I think we've been going over this for the last, since it's been released now for the last year and a half, if you're just doing everything through order entry, you're going to lose some of these abilities unless you move over to project contracts. So, and that was, I think any new implementation has definitely been, we've been making sure those are being used. It's some of the ones that were maybe part of the early adopter of Sage Intacct that might not have done that yet. So one other early adopter program here. So I think it was 2 months ago, we did a webinar on AP automation. And if you remember that webinar, I was showing you how we can import in via email or via upload. It will take an image, take a PDF invoice and bring that into Intacct, bring it as an AP bill into the system, attach that image, leave it as a draft mode for you to review it, but it gives you all that information. And for those who were part of that webinar, you saw that I had a few technical challenges, which is normal. They have now extended that into purchasing. So we're excited about this. We have been playing around with it, and to be honest, it seems really cool. So if you wanted to have it do purchasing where you can email in and it will convert your purchase order, it will convert your purchase order to an invoice based upon the invoice that's being emailed in or uploaded. It will do the conversion for you at that point. Please note that unlike the WIP report, which was, again, early adopter program, and again, part of it before it's released to the general public, that part is part of your construction module. This one here is part of the AP automation module. So if you don't have the AP automation module, that is an additional cost. It's based upon the number of invoices you do per month. But I wanted to make sure that you were familiar with this product. We've got a couple people that are going to be part of the early adopter program on that. Compliance, for those who have set up compliance, I know some of you have, they've added 2 additional features to the compliance record. One being the ability to add a compliance record directly to a project. Before it was pretty much isolated to a commitment or something like that. So now we can tie that to a project, and we do have the ability for notes, and those notes are visible to all compliance records, compliant record users. So I just want to make know they've added 2 features based upon feedback that they have added, or people have submitted, and they have added those features at that point. So let me see here. One of the questions is one of the questions that came in is the the PO automation. Is that meant to replace a program like Titanium? The short answer is not yet. There are features in Titanium that are not in here, but this is designed to definitely long-term to help people with AP automation and not have to use third parties. But I think that Titanium and products like that still have additional features that are not in here. So just wanted to be very blunt on that answer there. Hopefully that answered your question there. And the next question is on the WIP report. How long will it take to get? Again, it's probably about, I would say, once the update's done, then they have to provision it for you guys, and then you're gonna have to go in and set up some permissions to go into that area. So I would say give it a couple weeks, you know, once you sign up for that area. And again, I know that they were just talking like, hey, we're on the next update, we're going to do this, and the next update, we're going to do that. So again, it is the reason they call it early adopter is that, you know, they do have the right to make changes to the product, to the features a little bit faster than under a general release. Let's see if there's any other questions that come in. And they said repeat the time. So again, the update is tomorrow evening, between 8 and 10 p.m. Pacific time. So what's going to end up happening is you'll get a message, and if you try to log in during that, you'll get a message saying there's a maintenance going on. So at that point, it's usually a good sign to close out your browser, turn off your computer, and go find something else to do at that point. So I think those are all the questions that came in. I don't think we have any others. And so, just again, just kind of recap, these are the changes. There are additional changes that I have not gone over that are more accounting related questions. We're going to have a blog posted very shortly on those, but I wanted to make sure we focused on the construction ones like we do for our clients, because that's all we do here. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, really appreciate everyone's time today. And as I said, 20 minutes, we're right at the 20-minute mark. So appreciate it and have a great day, everyone.